Hi folks, Moose here. Well, with the announcement of some of our 2013 workshops, had a number of requests and emails, inquiries about what's with this Churchill Birds thing. Well, let me tell you, it is truly a wildlife photographer's paradise. Now, I haven't been up there since the last time I shot was the F5, the 600 F4, and Agfa RSX film. So one reason I'm going to go up there is because I want digital files. I remember going up there, the 100 rolls of film, and being limited for like situations like this. One of the reasons I'm going back. The parasitic Jaeger, it's a great bird. A lot of them nest up there, and nesting birds is part of Churchill. Well, they are really annoyed by mosquitoes. That's what you're seeing here, but you don't see the mosquito. I want that photograph. I got one picture of him snapping mosquito, but the mosquito is so small, if I don't point it out, you just think it's a dust spot in the sensor, even though it was shot with film. So that's part of the reason I want to go back. I want to shoot digital what I shot so much film of. Now, I went there for about 7 years straight, and I haven't been back there for about a decade. So I'm just dying to get back and photograph gems like the Ross's gull. This very small, petite gull is gorgeous. I love that little black chin line it's got going around its head. And it's such a dainty little flyer. And it's pretty rare in North America. You only kind of find it in a few places. Churchill is one of the possibilities. So I want to go back for some of those rare birds. Another reason why I'm going back to Churchill. Then there's this collection of shorebirds that are just a book unto themselves, like the stilt sandpiper. Now, some of these shorebirds you simply won't recognize because they're in their breeding plumage. And that's what they're up there doing. They're doing the hanky-panky, a whole bunch. You know, the whimbrel, a common bird once upon a time, you know, it's getting less and less common. It's getting rare. Still find them in Churchill, and then they're there nesting. And it's just a fascinating process to watch. The American golden plover, you know, you see it down in the States. It's this gray little tannish bird, really nondescript. But boy, you get it up there in the tundra, which you can see in the foreground because he's walking over its nest. It's about to go its nest now. It's got that beautiful black breast. It's got all that. You can see why it's called the American golden plover. And of course, the world it lives in is just phenomenal. It is a wildlife photographer's paradise. And then there's the Arctic terns. Now, remember, this is still all film, shot with a 600 F5. And the Arctic terns, I just love these guys. You know, they go all the way from, basically, not technically, but go from North Pole to South Pole and then back again between breeding seasons. It's amazing what they fly. Huge migration. And the whole time, the male's catching fish, and that's the way they pair bond for life with their mate. And of course, there's the male, there's the female, you know, beautiful, beautiful light that's up there. And then once he presents it, you know, he's feeling pretty steadily. Got to be happy because once you do that, well, you guessed it, there's that. And all this was shot by just basically falling out of the vehicle. Boom, there you are, set the tripod and shoot. And one of the problems I had was I only had 100 rolls of film. Oh, that's only 3,600 captures. I can't imagine that limitation. I mean, I'll be going up there. I'm probably going to take 3 terabytes of storage. I know that in the period up there, I'm going to fill at least a minimum of 1.5 terabytes. Okay, it's just that much that you can photograph. It's just spectacular. And shots like this all day long. And then there's you know, the Dunlin. Oh, the Dunlin, you know, in the wintertime, everybody ignores it. But, once it gets up there in the breeding grounds, it's in the marsh, it does what's called mousing. It goes through this grass you see, and it runs around. And it's called mousing because you really can't see it. It doesn't do a straight path to its nest. And then it gets over to a little mound, and then it pops up for a second, and then it goes into its nest. It's just a fantastic little bird. Keep in mind, this bird you're seeing here, it's about the size of your fist. So you can get this close to him. It's really just amazing what you can do with the birds up in Churchill. And then, there's one of the prizes, or one of the reasons why I'm going back up there, the Hudsonian godwit. An amazing bird. I never see them. Well, rarely do we see them in California. Another kind of a rare bird, but up there, pretty common. The picture I still don't have, another reason why I'm going back, is that male with that brick red breast. You know, I've got this individual here, and this is the most red I have when it's a true all the way in its breeding plumage adult male. That whole breast is that rufous red. You see that brick red breast. It is spectacular, and I'm just dying for that photograph. I can't imagine what it's going to look like with today's digital. These are all scans, and I'm not a big fan of scans. They just don't have the same anything as the digital captures anymore. Another reason why I'm going up. And then the leaf sandpiper. You know, this leaf sandpiper, it's smaller than your fist. It's a dime a dozen bird, but up there, it's just another spectacular shorebird, and it's beautiful breeding plumage in there in the marsh. And then there's my sweetheart, the Pacific loon. You know, I went up there for about 7 years straight, and she was there year after year. And most loons on the nest you can't get anywhere near, and she let us walk right up to her. Now, at this point in time, she has to pass away, but I'm curious if her offsprings or any of them have that same trait. I'm going to look for them, because this is 5 a.m. in the morning light. It is spectacular light. Again, 600 and f5. And she was such a performer. She would sit there, and then during the nest exchange, as soon as she got off the nest and the male got on, she would sit there and point blank do all this great displaying right in front of us. It was gorgeous. I mean, and I was like, I'm shooting film going, gotta get the shot. I've only got X amount of rolls. Gotta get the shot, X amount of rolls. I just can't wait to get up there and not have that limitation of only so many rolls of film. I mean, here's another year, different nest, same individual, just gorgeous 5 a.m. light. What a spectacular bird. Well, that's just some of the stuff that we're going to go up to the Churchill for. I hope that this kind of gives you an idea why I'm going back. I'm so excited, and I get to take my good friend Kevin. And then those folks who are joining with us on our K&M adventures for Churchill Birds, you are in for an experience of a lifetime. Can't wait to be there and share it with you. Thanks for dropping by, folks.